Scene script. Have you ever wondered about the power dynamics of the ancient world? What if we told you about a ruler who changed the course of history, King Jacob Safari? In the cradle of civilization, amidst the shifting sands and timeless stories, a child was born. This child was no ordinary infant. He was to become the mighty King Jacob Safari. Born into a humble family, his early years were a far cry from the opulence and grandeur he would later command. These formative years, steeped in adversity, molded Jacob into a resilient and determined individual. As he grew, so did his aspirations. Jacob was not content with a life of simplicity and obscurity. He yearned for power, for influence, for a chance to shape the world around him. This desire sparked a fire within him, a flame that would guide him through the trials and tribulations of his journey to the throne. Jacob's rise to power was not a walk in the park. He faced challenges, both big and small, but with every stumbling block, he only grew stronger. His tenacity and unwavering determination were his greatest allies. He faced these challenges head-on, refusing to bow down or retreat. He wrestled with the political intricacies of the time, navigating the treacherous terrain of alliances and betrayals. With each step, he etched his name deeper into the annals of history, his deeds becoming the stuff of legends. Jacob's ascension to the throne was a testament to his iron will and strategic acumen. He overcame the odds, proving to the world and to himself that he was more than capable of ruling a kingdom. His reign marked a new era, a period of prosperity and growth, a testament to his leadership and vision. But what distinguished Jacob was not just his regal stature or his strategic brilliance. It was his audacity, his willingness to challenge the norm, to question the status quo, to dare to dream bigger. King Jacob Safari was not just a ruler. He was a game changer, a man who dared to challenge the status quo. Now let us delve into the era that was the breeding ground for leaders like King Jacob, the Safarid dynasty. Imagine an era of political upheaval and cultural revolution. The 9th century in eastern Iran was just that, and it was during this time that the Safarid dynasty began its rise to power. The dynasty was established by Yaqub bin Layth as Safar, a coppersmith who turned into a revolutionary leader, charting a new course for his people. The Safarid dynasty was unique in its approach to governance. The rulers were not mere figureheads. They were active participants in shaping the political landscape. They defied the Abbasid Caliphate's authority and replaced it with their own, asserting their independence and sovereignty. This bold move was a turning point, marking the Safarids as a force to be reckoned with. But the Safarid dynasty was not just about political maneuvering. It was also a time of cultural renaissance. Under the Safarid rule, Persian language and literature flourished. The rulers encouraged the adoption of Persian as the official language, a move that greatly influenced the cultural identity of the region. The Safarid dynasty was a melting pot of cultures, a hub of intellectual growth, and a beacon of political power. Its rulers, such as Yaqub and his brother Amr, were known for their military prowess, political acumen, and patronage of arts and literature. Their reign marked a period of prosperity and progress, and their influence extended far beyond their territories. However, it was in this dynamic and influential dynasty that a leader like King Jacob found his footing. King Jacob, or Yaqub as he was known, was a product of his time. He was shaped by the political and cultural forces at play during the Safarid era. His leadership style, his vision, and his legacy were all influenced by the Safarid dynasty's ethos. The Safarid dynasty, a time of power, influence, and change, was the perfect backdrop for the rise of a leader like King Jacob. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive into the reign of King Jacob Safari. Our journey through the annals of history takes us to a pivotal point in time, the reign of the enigmatic King Jacob Safari. His rule was a testament to his unique leadership style, a blend of benevolence and astuteness that set the tone for the Safarid dynasty. Under Jacob's rule, the Safarid Empire saw a flourish of significant events that shaped its future. One such event was the establishment of the Grand Library of Safarid, a beacon of knowledge that attracted scholars from far and wide. Not only did this library serve as a testament to Jacob's commitment to education, but it also marked the beginning of a golden era of enlightenment. Jacob's reign was not just about monumental structures. His policies, too, were a reflection of his visionary leadership. His economic reforms, particularly the introduction of a standardized currency system, marked a turning point in the dynasty's history. This system bolstered trade, leading to an unprecedented economic boom and prosperity for his people. His military strategies were equally noteworthy. Jacob's reign was marked by a series of successful campaigns that expanded the Safarid Empire's boundaries, cementing its position as a formidable force in the region. Yet in all his victories, he never lost sight of the value of peace, often opting for diplomacy over conflict. But perhaps the most profound aspect of Jacob's reign was his influence on the Safarid dynasty itself. His rule set a precedent for future rulers, instilling values of justice, wisdom, and compassion within the dynasty. His reign was a shining example of how a ruler's vision could shape the destiny of an entire dynasty. Jacob's accomplishments weren't merely the product of his rule, they were the embodiment of his vision for a prosperous and enlightened society. His reign left an indelible mark on the Safarid dynasty, transforming it from a mere kingdom to an empire that stood the test of time. King Jacob Leith Safari's reign was not just a period of rule, it was an era of transformation. As with all great leaders, King Jacob left behind a legacy that continues to echo through the ages. King Jacob Leith Safari, the illustrious ruler of the Safarid dynasty, was more than just a monarch. His reign was a beacon of light that illuminated the path for future generations. His impact on the Safarid dynasty and the wider region was profound, leaving a lasting imprint on the sands of time. The king was a visionary, a trailblazer. He understood the power of unity and the strength of a well-organized society. Under his rule, the Safarid dynasty experienced an era of prosperity and growth. His policies fostered economic stability and cultural richness that spurred the region into a golden age. His reign was marked by significant advancements in various fields, from arts and literature to science and technology. King Jacob's reign was a fertile ground for intellectual growth. His patronage of the arts led to the creation of some of the most exquisite works of the era, many of which continue to inspire artists today. King Jacob was also known for his diplomatic acumen. His fair and strategic negotiations with neighboring kingdoms fostered an environment of peace and mutual respect. These diplomatic ties not only bolstered the Safarid dynasty's standing on the global stage, but also paved the way for cultural exchanges that enriched the region's heritage. Moreover, King Jacob was a man of the people. He believed in the potential of every individual and strived to create a society where everyone had the opportunity to thrive. His policies aimed at social welfare and education have been a source of inspiration for many leaders who followed in his footsteps. His legacy is not just confined to the past, it continues to resonate in the present, influencing the course of history. His reign serves as a testament to the power of visionary leadership and the indomitable spirit of humanity. King Jacob Leith Safari, a man of power and influence, left an indelible mark on the pages of history. All great things must come to an end, and so it was with the Safarid dynasty. Through the annals of history, the Safarid dynasty, under the reign of King Jacob Leith Safari, had seen days of glory and expansion. But as the wheel of time turned, the empire began to crumble, its sun setting into the horizon of oblivion. The decline of the Safarid dynasty was not an overnight phenomenon. It was a gradual process that began with internal strife and power struggles. The once united and robust kingdom became fragmented, with petty rivalries and discord sowing the seeds of its downfall. King Jacob Leith Safari, the stalwart leader, found his authority being questioned and his power waning. External threats too played a significant role in the fall of the Safarid dynasty. Invading forces saw the internal disarray as an opportunity to strike, further weakening the empire. The once formidable military might of the Safarids began to falter under the pressure of these relentless invasions. Economic hardships were another nail in the coffin for the Safarid dynasty. As the empire's territories shrunk, so did its wealth. The once prosperous trade routes were lost, and the coffers began to run dry. The grandeur and opulence that once marked the Safarid dynasty were replaced by poverty and despair. Despite these challenges, the Safarid dynasty did not go down without a fight. The people, under the guidance of their king, resisted as long as they could. But ultimately, The empire that King Jacob Safari had built with his blood, sweat and tears came tumbling down. The fall of the Safarid dynasty marked an end of an era. The once mighty empire was reduced to a mere chapter in history. Yet, the memory of its glory days, its cultural richness, and its indomitable spirit lived on. Though the Safarid dynasty fell, its impact and the legacy of its great leader, King Jacob Safari, live on. The echoes of their greatness continue to resonate, a testament to an empire that once was and a king who dared to dream.